We are back, and I want to thank you all for your patience. I just decided to take a couple of days off. You can do that when you're a manager in charge of a team who's just qualified for the Europa League. Oh yeah, we're in Europe next season. But it's not really good news because this team is not very good. They're about as consistent as my grandma's custard. And so we have a big job to do in the summer, making this team a lot better. And it will be interesting to see how much money I get from the board to enable me to do that. We'll find out later. But for now, we've got the season to wrap up, and we've got the season review to do, and we've got the final game of the season against Hearts. A game we can all relax and enjoy the football, unless they beat me again. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to the Road to Glory. Part 46. It is part 46. I had to check. It's been so long since I uploaded. Part 46, Season 5, here at Livingston. And we have qualified for the Europa League. We are sitting in third place. 37 games played with 74 points. And we have qualified for the Europa League. The last game of the season is of no consequence in terms of league position, but it is of consequence to me. It does matter to me because Hearts have become a little bit of a bogey team this season, and I want to win against Hearts. I want to finish the season knowing we beat Hearts. So today we will be playing that game against Hearts, and then we will be having a look at the season review. And it has been an interesting season because this is not a great team and it's not the best collection of footballers that I've ever put together. But somehow, following the instructions they've been given, they have managed to upset all the pundits and finish where they are. And so today we will be playing the final game of the season against Hearts, and we will then take a look at the season review and find out who has been the major contributors, who have been the star players, as we have managed somehow to find ourselves in third place. We will also find out if the board have decided to give us any money, or at least I hope they will make that decision before the end of the episode. If they don't, you're going to have to wait until next time. But I hope that we'll know how much money we have or haven't got in terms of the summer transfer window. But I just unashamedly want to just plug what I'm here for. If you are new to the channel, then why not subscribe, like, watch and comment. Help the channel to grow and help us to support that very, very good stuff that you can see scrolling above. It would mean the world to me. But let's update you on what has happened since you were last here. And when you were last here, I think we'll all remember that hammering that we had against Celtic in the Scottish Cup semi-final. A desperately poor performance, which we were, and a game we were beaten by 4-1. And then it got even worse. We played at home to Hibernian in the next game, and we were beaten by 3-1. One of the games that I identified that we had to win, and that was not the best start to the final 5 games of the season that I could have hoped for. But we did recover and we beat Motherwell by 3-1. The second game I identified that we needed to win, and we did win that. Celtic then, again, proving too strong for us. We're just not in that kind of league. And we probably not ever going to be. It wasn't as bad a result as it looks. We did ourselves proud in that game. But then the best game of all, we managed to beat Rangers at home by 3-1. Totally outplayed them, and it was a thoroughly deserved victory against Rangers. And that means that finally we will play Hearts away in the last game of the season. And so in terms of the Premiership, it does mean that, well, I thought it meant that we had qualified for the Europa League, but the UECL, is that not the Europa Conference League? I don't know anymore now. It seems like Rangers have qualified for the Champions League in second place. Surely third place would qualify for the Europa League, but it does seem to be UECL just seem to be the Conference League. But we'll find that out later. I'm not too bothered about that now. We finished in third and we've done extremely well. And today we have to play our final game of the season against Hearts. And they're a tough opposition for us. They have been throughout the season and we've struggled to beat them on several occasions. We have held our own, I guess, but I want to establish dominance over Hearts and I want to perform well. And I need the players to know that this is not a game they can take lightly, that they are not on holiday yet, and we need to go out there, win this game, and make sure we end the season for the fans in the proper way. So we need to prepare them properly, we need them fired up, and we need to now go and kick some balls. And so we have made a couple of changes to the team today. There are a lot of tired players that we have, and the team today is Bentley in goal, with Ben, Fitzwater, Boyle and Penrith at the back. Omionga, Sweet and McKinnon is going to get a run out in midfield today. Moylan, Martin and Anderson will play up front. Anderson is a little tired and probably will need to be substituted at some point, but I'm hoping for a big game from him. He's not the most consistent person that I've ever come across, but hopefully he can manage to wake up a little bit today and manage to put the ball in the back of the net. Sam, I want you to pick up where you left off. You beat Rangers last time. There's no reason why you can't go out there and beat Hearts, and we should be actually winning this game. So the game is underway, and let's go and find out what's going to happen. And it's been a fairly decent start. We've had the better of possession. We've had the better of the chances. Hearts really haven't threatened us at this point, and with 17 minutes gone, we're doing very, very well. We just need to keep this up. And I'm just hoping that we can put one of these chances away that we're creating. And there is a long ball forward, and it's Ben who finds Martin. Martin who's come in on the right wing today, and he's looking back for Ben. We do have the ball, and that's what we need. We are a possession-based side, even though they're not very good at passing. But Omienga finds Boyle. Boyle out to Penrith. This is nice football. This is how I saw them playing. And here's Moylan. Moylan on the left. There's a ball inside, and he's hit the foot of the post. Anderson's at his old tricks again, and could not put that away. But at least we are creating chances, and hopefully one of them is going to go in very shortly. But as we come up to half-time, it's still goalless, and it is, however, Hearts with the next highlight. And there's a long punt up the field, which is so typical of Scottish football, I think. And there is another long punt up the field. We need to win this ball, and I think we have recovered the ball. And Penrith finds Bentley. Now we need to make the most of this. And there's a long punt upfield, and it finds Martin. Martin's through to Anderson. Anderson's in the clear, and Anderson has made it. A 0-0 for Livingston. And I'm so happy that Anderson's managed to put one away. I thought it might be that he's going to go into a period where he's out of form again. But a long punt picked up by Martin. A good decision to play Martin today. Through ball, and Anderson tucks it away in a style that he can do. He is a very, very good player. He just doesn't all that often manage to show it. But when he's in form, that boy's in form and scores a lot of goals. And there's a ball over the top looking for Moylan, but it's easily intercepted by the Hearts defence. And what on earth I think I'm not quite sure what happened there, but Anderson has got his second goal, and I really don't know. I took my eye off the game for a minute there, and the goalkeeper, I think, made an absolute howler and presented the ball to Anderson, who's put it away. It's Hearts 0, Livingston 2. I'm really glad that goalkeeper doesn't play for me. And that was awesome. We are 2-0 up. And the XG is showing we are absolutely dominating this game. Let's keep going. Let's put one over on Hearts. We are a better team than Hearts. It's interesting that Rangers are losing, but we can't at this point go into second. Maybe is it time to make some changes and give some other boys a run out here? We're doing really well. We're absolutely hammering them, and I think it is time to make some changes. And so we have made a few changes. We just brought some fresh legs on to try and make sure that we don't now go and lose this game as we've done in the past. It is going to be a goal kick for Hearts. They're not really that impressive with their goal kicking. And Obele, who's just come on, he heads it. But here come Hearts. Hearts are looking to break forward. And they are dangerous down the wings. And we need to stay in control and not do anything silly. It was a good tackle in the penalty area. And we have somehow managed to keep them out. There are 13 minutes left. Don't do anything silly now. We just need to maintain our control of this game. And there's a snapshot that deflection and goes wide, and they do have another set piece. And I prefer that FM is not showing all these set pieces for them. And I'm going to shout at them and demand more. This is not acceptable at the moment. And there is another corner, and we just need this team to wake up a little bit, because we've gone to sleep, gone off the boil, and Hearts are pushing forward, looking for that. Well, that was a strike, and Hearts have made it 2-1. And I think if they are coming at us a little bit, that was like the shot of the season. That flew in. We defended the corner really well. And look at this for a shot. I got to take my hat off to this one. It's Lewell. And that just went in like a bullet. It's like, I'd be pleased if I had scored that one. And I'm going to go and take a more cautious look at the game now. I want us to play a little bit more cautiously. Hearts are coming at us, and we need to make sure we're not going to allow them to score another one. And we have given the ball away, but then Hearts have given the ball away, and there's a ball over the top, and Anderson's in for his hat-trick, and Anderson has made it 3-1, and he does this. This is the kind of player that Anderson is. He'll score 3 in a game, then 2 in a game, and 3 in a game, and then he'll go to sleep for 8 games, and he won't even turn up on the pitch. And that, again, that was a lovely goal and another lovely strike, and it is now 3-1. Anderson just pulled it out of the air. One touch, smashed it into the corner. The goalkeeper had no chance, but then he's not really a very good goalkeeper, that guy. But take nothing away from Anderson. That was a very, very good goal. And we are in control now as we go into the final few minutes. And there's a ball into Anderson again, and he could have got 4 and should have got 4. And that would have been the pinnacle of the season, 4 for Anderson, but it didn't go in. I may have got some tired players, and so we've just had one more substitution, and we've taken off Sweet and brought on Adams. But the game is coming to an end, and we have won against Hearts. We've beaten Hearts by 3-1. Thoroughly deserves, and it was a very, very good win. And we just say, well done. That's what I wanted. It's why we prepared them in the way that we did. We wanted them fired up, and we got the result that we deserved. Rangers were beaten by Hibernian by 3-1. Celtic actually drawing 0-0 with Motherwell. But we couldn't, unfortunately, catch Rangers, and we finished a point behind them. But we have finished in 3rd, and I can't ask for any more than that from these wonderful players. And as you can see, we're going to be saying farewell to a couple of players as we come through the season. Anderson, hat-trick on the last game of the season. He's just a super player when he's in form. And I think we hopefully will find out very, very soon how the board have reacted to all this and how much money we're going to get from the board. We've been given 2.15 million for achieving 3rd place, and the board are very, very pleased that we have qualified for the Europa League, and we have done extremely well. The board, it's no good them being pleased. They need to back this pleasure that they're feeling with a little bit of the old little bit of cash, so that we can improve the squad and do well in the Europa League and give a good account of ourselves. But I think what we should do is take a look at the season review and see how the season has actually gone. But just before we do reach the end of season review, the board have set the initial budgets, and I just had a quick look. And the budgets for the coming season are 70,000 in terms of wages. That's actually not bad. And a transfer budget of 607,000. This is not what I was hoping. I was hoping for the figure to be in the 2 or 3 or 4 millions, but we're not going to get that. And we have got a job to do to try and rebuild the squad on 607,000. And Devlin, I can see, has signed a new contract, which is good news. And Cornet, one of our young boys, has recently turned professional. But this transfer budget is not enough. And I don't really know how we're going to be getting in players in order to improve this team. But let's go finally to the end of season review. And so as we come to the end of season review, and it has been a very, very good season, I can't really complain. We've only brought in 3 players throughout the season, and Akinola was one of them, who came in from Dundee United for £26,000. And he played 32 appearances and scored 4 goals. And he had an average rating of 7.19 and did very, very well. Owen Beck, one of my signings, didn't perform as well, but he only came in as a backup fullback, and he's done very, very well. He did play 28 appearances, including substitute appearances overall, and he's had a fairly good season at 6.84. Not bad for a backup. And then Cole McKinnon. We, of course, the board were going to be very, very disappointed about bringing McKinnon in, but I had no option, and I had to bring someone in who could cover in the midfield. And actually he didn't play that badly. His average rating of 6.72. He did come onto the pitch several times and do a good job for us as a substitute. And I will not, as I'm not like the board and feeling really desperately disappointed with him. I think he did a good job as an emergency backup for us, and he only cost us £1,000, so I'm not too worried. And in terms of the Premier League, well, we were expected to reach the top half, but we have excelled, and we finished in 3rd position. And we have done extremely well, and we've kind of like filled the stadium up to 83% as well, so we've done extremely well, and the board are very, very pleased. Of course they are, that we've qualified for the Europa League. I wish that their pleasure, though, would run to giving us a bit of cash, but it's not to be. And through the season, you can see that although there's a good smattering of red dots, the amount of times we have won, and we went on some very, very nice runs, and we've done extremely well. Given the squad that we had to play with, we've done extremely well and had a very, very good season. And there's some very good results, especially against Rangers in there. And then in the Scottish Cup, we're knocked out in the semi-final. It was, again, very, very well done. And to be beaten by Celtic in the semi-final is no shame, even though the quality of the performance in that game was pretty awful. And in the Premier Sports Cup, we were knocked out in the quarter-final, this time by Rangers. And Rangers just dispatched us quite easily in the quarter-final. But overall, it was again the Premiership where we excelled ourselves and did extremely well. And in terms of the moments to remember, the biggest win was that 8-1 win that we had against Dundee United. Exceptional performance, and lots of players picking up goals. Nubler got 3 in that game. It was an absolutely phenomenal season and an absolutely brilliant victory there. The match to remember, they're saying, was against Rangers. The fans' match to remember, 3-1 away at Rangers, and I'll go along with that. To go to Rangers and win 3-1, phenomenal. And yeah, I'll agree with that, and the fans. And the goal of the season, a goal from Nubler. I wonder if we can see this goal. Penrith is over the ball, and it's headed out. Oh, I do remember this, Nubler's shot. And possibly, yeah, maybe one of the goals of the season. And maybe there were better goals, but it was a decent goal. Good turn, good drive into the top corner. In terms of finances, and I don't know why this is my problem, and lots of greens in the revenue section. The only thing that's down is the broadcast revenue. This is something we can't control, and this is something that I, as a manager, really am not bothered about. And in terms of shirt sales, we've done particularly well. We've raised £31,500, 1,109 shirts sold. And how much does each shirt cost? About £3.20. We need to increase the price of shirts by the look of it. Nubler being the top shirt seller. He's had a very, very good season, and surprisingly I thought Anderson might be the top shirt seller, but he's in second. Sweet, Martin and Moylan making up the others. You can't really argue with that. All of those had very good seasons. And in terms of the first 11, only 3 not getting an average rating above 7. J. Ben, Jamie Bowden and James Sweet. And I'm surprised that Devlin isn't in the right back slot. So maybe that what the game's telling me that it's time for J. Ben to take over from Devlin now, and that he should be the first choice fullback. Jamie Bowden only a 7. But I still think he had a very, very good season. And our young lad James Sweet, who played a lot of games for a 19-year-old, had an exceptional season, and he seems to have been a very good purchase. Bruce Anderson, who scored 33 goals in the season with 1 assist. And it's kind of thinking about Anderson, there was a point where I thought to myself, do I need to sell this boy? Because he's not performing consistently, and although he doesn't perform consistently and can go to sleep for long parts of the season, he scored 33 goals this season, so he has to be part of the plans for next year. I don't know, what do you think? Should you keep someone who isn't that consistent? And I didn't get any awards. I don't really want rewards. But in terms of the team, the fans' player of the season, Joel Nubler on the wing, had a fantastic season. James Sweet, the young player of the season, not going to argue with that. Oh, he's not 19, he's actually 23 years old, but he's fitted in this season. I think he's had an outstanding season. Akinola was the signing of the season, centre-back, who hasn't really played as much as I would have liked him to, but he will come in the coming seasons. Joel Nubler, goal of the season, as we saw. Top goal scorer, Bruce Anderson, 33 goals, and he has earned that right to be the, I think, player of the season. Most assists, Josh Martin, who had 18 assists throughout this, 15 assists throughout the season. Excellent performance. He needs more first team football. Bruce Anderson, most player of the match awards. He had a lot of hat-tricks this season, and so yeah, quite well deserved. Highest average rating was James Penrice with an average rating of 7.2, and Will Boyle, the most passes completed. Record breakers, Bruce Anderson's 33 goals is the most goals in a season ever, and most goals in a Premier League season, Bruce Anderson. And the most goals by a player in a league match was by Nubler. Most goals by a player in a league match, Nubler, who scored 3 goals in a league match. And Anderson scored 3 goals in a league match on several occasions, so I don't understand that one. And the most assists by a player in the season was Josh Martin, has beaten the record. He now has 15 assists. And Bruce Anderson, most player of the match awards in a season. No one has ever got 10, and he deserves that accolade. Most league goals by a player. He has now scored 61 goals for us, and it's an outstanding achievement. And he has taken the fastest goal award this season, scoring in 11 seconds. And so it was an absolutely brilliant season, and we've done very, very well. We are in the Europa League competition next season, and as it said, our early form was a joy to watch, and it was. And we did very, very well at the beginning, and we never looked back after the beginning. We'll skip this dynamic manager's timeline. I'm not a big fan of that, and I tend to. Maybe I will look back on it at the end of the save, but it doesn't mean anything to me at this moment in time. And so that is it for this episode, and we have a very busy summer transfer window coming up with very little money to play with, and I don't know how we are going to solve the problems that we have, but somehow we're going to have to do that. And if you are new to the channel, then why not? Subscribe, like, watch and comment. Help the channel to grow, help us to support that very, very good cause that you can see scrolling above. And as we go into the transfer window, we are a very, very happy camp here at Livingston. And I will, for the moment, bid you all farewell. As I mentioned in a previous video, there will be a break of a day or so while we go through the transfer window. Normally I'm ahead at this point, but with recent events I'm a little bit behind with things. So there will be a delay as I go through the transfer window, but we'll be back within a day and we'll have news of what's happened in the transfer window. And we will be beginning the new season, Season 6. And all that remains to be said now is see you in the next episode.